Oh, I love technology. Are we live or not? I don't know. It says we are. Man, I love technology. It says we're live. Okay, I'm going with it. We're rolling with it. I don't know. Gotta love technology, but we are live apparently. So, welcome to the Closers Corner podcast. My name is Greg Simpson. Just to let you guys know how this podcast is going to work. So, this is actually a dual type of podcast. We are obviously doing this as a live feed right now, and we'll be doing this live every Friday here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You should, in theory, be able to ask any and all questions in the chats. The chat feature, and I can answer them live from my screen here, and I will answer them here. Okay, mic is muted. It should not be. It might be delayed. This is killing me. Is it still muted, guys? I don't know. It shouldn't be. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking and let me know, guys, if it's still muted. This is to be set up again as a live podcast where you guys can ask any and all questions. I will answer them live here every Friday at 10 a.m. We also have a recorded podcast that is an interview-style podcast with my top agents here at Outfast Realty, and be telling you guys the stories of what they're doing and how they're getting deals to the closing table for you guys and what makes them true deal makers. So I want to jump right in, and thank you guys for tuning in and watching. And be sure to like, give us a holler, give us a share. And also, if you're on Apple or whatever, Spotify or whatever you listen to your podcast on, please give us a subscribe, a download, and rate and review us as we go here. So a couple questions that I got prior to the podcast going live this morning is one of my favorite ones. That is the most absolute hardest question to answer, and that is, where do I see the market going? I'm going to kick it off with that one because I want to bring you guys to what I see going on here. And there's a lot of things that are affecting the marketplace right now, and there's so many things that is out of anyone's control. But I want to talk to you guys about where the market is currently and where I see it's going. Right now, the market is still extremely hot, at least here in Tampa Bay. And obviously, I'm in groups all over the country where we talk about, what's going on with the markets in their area. And their areas are pretty much just as hot as Tampa for the most part. But Florida in general is off the charts. Crazy still. We may not be getting 20 to 25 offers in 24 hours, 48 hours where we were kind of getting before, but we're still getting 4 to 5 solid offers per listing, especially if you've priced it right. I have my newest flip going live this afternoon in St. Petersburg. I've got another one in Largo that will be going live hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and because what we've seen just the appreciation in the time that we've bought these deals, it has pretty much skyrocketed on that side. So I still think the market is very solid. It is very, very strong. And the thing is, guys, it could take a turn for the worse for sure. But I from what the data we're looking at and what we're seeing, and that's kind of the beauty of having a brokerage with 85 plus agents. And I've been in the business since 2013. We have our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the marketplace, and so we're not really seeing much of a slowdown. And because there's so much demand for housing in the Tampa Bay area and in Florida because of the mass exodus from the northern states and in California as well, for reasons we will not get into on this podcast, we can't keep up with the demand. The supply isn't keeping up. So there's not going to be a downturn or a correction, if you will, anytime soon. Now, I have predicted in the past corrections to happen. I honestly thought we were due for a correction in 2017 after the election, and it wasn't going to matter who won the election. I thought we were due for a correction, but my theory on that is no president wants a correction on their watch, especially after what happened to Obama, even though Obama had that happen to him as he came into office, and it wasn't anything that he did necessarily to cause that. It had already been in motion for a couple of years. Like the president doesn't really change it much. I just thought we were due for a correction in 2017, and it did happen. The market got better, and then when COVID, we had that slight correction for a couple of months, and then it exploded. So could there be a correction on the horizon? Absolutely, and it's something that none of us can control. But so the advice I would give you guys, if you're watching and listening, is ride the wave. Ride this crazy wave. Capitalism is a fantastic thing if you know how to work it. Make the money now. Be smart with the money. Don't over leverage yourself, as in don't go get 100% financing on a rental property, because rental properties on single family anyway, if you have 100% leverage on that at market rents right now, at market rates right now, you're screwed in a year from now, 2 years from now, if the market does take a dip. So I do not see that on the horizon anytime soon here in the Tampa Bay market especially. We are still getting solid cash offers every time we do a listing. I know Andrea, she just posted one earlier this week, and I made a joke with her that, and it's gone. And about 2 days later, she got multiple cash offers that she was negotiating, and she took a really nice cash offer. So they are still coming in droves. The market is still fantastic, so ride the wave. Ride the wave, ladies and gentlemen. Another question I got asked was more on the personal development side of this, and that is basically what books am I currently reading? And that is a couple of different books I'm reading currently. I'm reading. I have a guilty pleasure series that I read. This is it's a author called Vince Flynn. He writes a novel series fiction on a character named Mitch Rapp, and it is all about the CIA and spy stuff. So for my down reading, because you guys can't read personal development stuff 24/7, 365. You'll literally burn yourself out. So I love reading that series of books. I think I'm on book number 10 or 12 of the series. But for personal development stuff, I am currently reading The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Really great book so far. I love everything that he puts out. If you're a dad, you should also subscribe to his daily newsletter called Daily Dad. Thanks, David Stick, for helping get me on to Ryan Holiday. He's got a lot of books. Stillness is the Key was a really good book I just finished of his not too long ago. Highly recommend it. And then I pretty much always feel like I'm reading Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike. I feel like I read that book all the time simply because I resonate with Phil in the Nike story. So that book is always on my desk or my little table next to my reading chair. Yes, I'm old and I have a reading chair that I read pretty much every single night. And then another person asked me a couple days ago, in ahead of this, was what does a good routine, if you will, look like? And that's really hard to answer because everyone's got their own things that they have to handle every day. But to kind of give you guys, some perspective, and people ask me this question a lot, so I'll answer this one now too. I run Outfast Realty and Investments. I'm flipping houses. We own rental properties. We have a private money lending company. We're in the middle of launching a mortgage company as we speak. I run TB-REIA, which is Tampa Bay Real Estate Investors Association. And I'm a dad, husband, all that stuff. And my question I get asked from so many, especially my agents, because they see all the crazy stuff that we're doing, and some of them get to see the behind the scenes. We're launching a new fund next year as well as that. So I've got my hands full, but they ask me, how do you get all of the things done that you do? And the answer is very simple. I don't do all the things to get things done. We have a rock star office assistant / manager in Caitlin, who's sitting right over there. She gets a lot of the behind the scenes stuff done for the brokerage. I have my assistant Lovely, who is virtual out of the Philippines, who she runs as my executive assistant. She does so many things behind the scenes for me. So Lovely, if you're watching this, thank you for all of your help as well. And then we obviously have great partners. Jeremy Cloder has been the absolute best partner that I could have ever asked for to launch Outfast Realty and Investments, Outfast Property Management, now Outfast Capital, all these different things, right? I've got Matt Kelsey, who has also been an amazing partner of ours to really get this thing going. He's been a private lender of mine. He helped launch Deployed Capital Group with us last year. We're launching this new fund, like I said. So many people help us do this, right? I've got a lead manager who is basically cold calling and texting sellers all day, every day. One thing that, I would say to you guys is build out your systems and your processes. And then once you've done some of that, learn how to automate so many things. Like, to give you an example, like when someone decides they want to join us, it is so systemized and automated at this point that we literally have a person onboarded onto our team in less than 24 hours. Like, that's pretty unheard of. So that's how I get all those things done, is because it's not just me. While I am looked at as the face of these companies, and that is a fair assessment, like, it is not like I'm sitting here working 24/7. I pretty much have a cutoff, guys, of around 6 p.m. To give you some perspective on that, I typically don't work a lot after 6 p.m. I was up late last night getting some things ready for today's podcast, but that is very rare. That's only because I had the TB RIA's main meeting last night, which went till 9 o'clock, and then I left there a little early because I knew I had to get a bunch of stuff done for today. But it is not, you can't do it all yourself, guys. And I have agents that work for me, agents that I have worked with on other sides of the transaction, and they are what my buddy Dan Schwartz would call brute force Bobs. They can't let go of control. I actually did a video that I'll be releasing next week a little bit about this, but I'll touch on this now, guys. You as agents and investors have got to learn to let go of control. You guys can't do everything yourself. You guys cannot be the person that is showing the houses and listing houses and writing up the contracts and then sending them for signature and then dealing with the closing process and scheduling all the things. Like, I go into some detail on that video, which will get released on my Instagram next week. But guys, you guys have to learn that you can't be control freaks if you want to scale and you want to be a successful anything. I don't care if you're a painter or if you're a plumber. If you don't have systems and processes and then start building out automations, you will be scrambling for the rest of your life to get anything done in a timely fashion. Because guys, we only get one shot at this. And Jason Wojo from Life and Air, who spoke at TB RIA last night, nailed this. Is that time is our most precious commodity that we can't get back. So if you're a dad or a mom out there and the last thing you want to do is miss soccer practice or ballet or gymnastics with your kids, so you can't be working all the time. You've got to start delegating and releasing control. So, other things you can do to help with that is getting up early, while your kids are still sleeping, get an hour's worth of focus work in per day. Get your meditation or your prayer or whatever you do in the morning. I loved Jason's, how he broke down his schedule last night. My schedule looks very similar to his. But set boundaries for yourself too, so that your clients and your customers can't be expecting to get a hold of you at 9 p.m. at night. Because guess what? The title companies aren't open at 9 p.m. The mortgage brokers, the underwriters, they're not working at 9 p.m. for the most part. So don't expect your real estate agent to do this, right? So the premise, do you want to go back to the premise of the recorded podcast, going back to that? It'll be explained, and they're all live. They're all live on YouTube. They're live on Apple and Spotify. They're all everywhere. It's all been syndicated to everywhere as of 9:45, 10 o'clock this morning. So you guys can go listen to the recorded episodes right now. I've got one with Suzanne, and Caitlin jumped in on that one as well. I've got one with Salem, and I've got one with David Spinelli that all launched today. And they're going to tell you guys some crazy freaking stories of what they've gone through in the last several months to get some of their deals to the closing tables. And the stories are phenomenal. Like, I'm telling you guys, they're funny, they're incredible. And it's the reason for this podcast is so that you guys as the general public understand what these agents go through every single day to earn their money. And as someone who has been a broker owner for the last 5 years and watched this explode and getting to know some of the ins and outs of how some of these deals come together because of what the agents are doing, I want you guys to understand it. I want you guys to hear their stories of why they're earning it, because there are so many low fee brokerages, like 1% brokerages, places that will let you list your property on the MLS for a flat fee, and you're just not going to get the level of service that you need to make sure that you are not getting your ass kicked by a professional realtor on the other side of the deal as a seller, or is trying to work directly with a listing agent as a buyer is also a terrible idea, because then you have no one going to bat for you in that transaction. And we talk about that on the podcast. Just navigating the closing process alone and what it takes to be a deal maker, guys, is not as easy as it looks on HGTV, DIY, or whatever those nonsense style shows are. While they are very cool to watch, they are not based in any sort of reality. So guys, make sure you ask your questions. And yes, I think that those are both great books. In our Instagram chat from Jared, Good to Great by Jim Collins and The Road to Your Best Self by Mike Williams. I have not read the one by Mike Williams, but Good to Great is definitely a great book there. Obviously, we have a library here at our office full of real estate books and personal development books for all of our agents to check out and read if they'd like. But let me go here. So again, make sure you ask your guys questions. You also can submit questions ahead of time to closerscorner@outfastrealty.com. And so, yep, that's those are some of the questions I had ahead of time for you guys, and I hope you guys got some good value today. Again, please give us a subscribe, like this video on all the different platforms there are, rate us, review us. Really appreciate it. It's really helps us get the word out to what we're doing over here at OutFast and what our agents are doing to make sure you as a seller get top dollar for your house, and as a buyer you get the best possible deal out there. As an investor, that you're getting the best property management that you could imagine out there, and that you're getting the best top dollar when you go to list those flips on the back end with our agents. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. This again will be a live podcast every single Friday at 10 a.m. Our recorded podcasts, I forgot to mention, are going to be released every Monday morning so that you can start your week off on a good foot with listening to some of our awesome stories from our agents, what they're doing to get these deals done for you guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and we'll catch you on the flip side.